Okay, we're going to do another question, and again, it's sort of a step up. Similar sort of harshness. But what I'd like to say about the last question was a lot of people go wrong because they try it. Oh, there was a 5 there, wasn't it? Right, no, sorry, there was an X there. Okay, and what a lot of people do is they think that it'd be a good idea to go straight for the jugular and say that, use the opposite, use that as the opposite, and then use this as well next. Okay, and the problem with doing this is that trig, you've got to remember that trig is for right angled triangles only, right? And this is not a right angle, okay? Which is why, if you're trying to do, that, and you figure out these lengths, you can't do it using that and that because it's not a right angle triangle. You end up with sort of nonsense. So remember, trig is for right angles, and that's why we had to, when you see these questions, look at the right angle, focus on that. It's a good start, always a good start, and that's why we knew that we could sort of use that as the basis of finding x. So the next question is quite similar in terms of knowing that you've got to use a right angled triangle. So this is the next question. We've got a 3 centimeter length there, and we've got a right angle going up there. And so far, so good. Yeah, it looks quite easy so far. And then we draw another triangle, and try and get that right. Voila. Okay, and it gives us a right angle there. So that's 45. Clearly, that means that this is an isosceles triangle. Okay, that's 90, 45. That would be 45 as well, but not pertinent to this question. So we want to find x. Let's start by trying to, as I said, last question, we've got right angles here. So let's try and find this length. Okay. When you first look at these questions, you might think, well, where do you start? Where do you start? You become quicker and quicker, and it becomes more intuitive the more you do it, which is why it's good to practice. There's an angle of 60 degrees there, which is also quite fundamental to answering this question. So let's get on with it. So we've got the we want the opposite. Let's change colour. So we want the opposite. And we've got the adjacent, that's the hypotenuse, it's opposite the right angle there. Remember that to find out hypotenuse, it's not only the length, the longest length, but it's opposite the right angle. So there's 2 ways of finding hypotenuse. So we've got opposite and adjacent. Okay, opposite and adjacent. And if you're not sort of fluent yet, obviously that's SOHCAHTOA. So we're doing tan. I hope it doesn't sort of seem too quick and too rushed because, but I'm just sort of trying to ram through these questions. Hopefully you're getting better, and you can pause the tape if I'm going too fast anyway. So tan 60 is square root over 3. I'm not going to go back and look at that chart again. You can do that. In fact, it's a great idea to revise that whole chart anyway. So I've done the hard work. I've derived it, and I know what that is. So it's your turn, I should say. So let's find that. So the opposite, on me, is just 3 square root of 3. So let's just write that in there. 3 square root of 3. And now that makes our job nice and simple because we can just use that to find x. So let's just scroll down a little bit and use a different colour. And so the opposite, so we've got the opposite, if you're not fluent yet, and that would be the hypotenuse. So we're going to use sine. So you've got sine 45, and that's going to equal the opposite, which is 3, and the over hypotenuse. And sine 45, can you remember what sine 45? If you can't, I'm just going to tell you now anyway. So, but it's a good idea, as I say, to try and remember what it is. So sine 45 is, to put you out of your misery, is that. Oops, get the 3. See, when you're rushing, this is when schoolboy errors crop in all over the place. So I might slow down the pace here. Because this is where it can all go wrong. We want to cross multiply. Sine 45. Yep, that's right. So I was just checking the old memory bank. So let's just cross multiply. We'll do it over here. So x equals. Aha, ha 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 ha. We're going to do it in stages, as I will say, because you can make errors. So, and it's good to check. You know, if you make errors, then you can see where you've gone. So, and that's 2 times that, so that'll be 6. Square root of 3, and then let's just do the rest. And of course, remember the next stage should be becoming sort of slightly more routine if you've been doing these questions with me. And it's going to give us, so do the easy bit first, I think. Always the easy bit. And we've got, right now, here's some prior knowledge you need to know, because if you've got the square root of 3 times square root of 2, that's also the same as, this is an aside, that's the same as doing 3 times 2. And I'll do another sort of, I'll show you why that is another time, but just, if you ever see, you know, square root times square root of something, you can open it up like that and times it out. So it'd be 6. So then we've got. I've changed colours, but won't worry about that. So that's 6 times the square root of 6 over 2, which is 3 and 6. And just checking that the answer here that I've got here, and it is the right answer. So we know, well, if we want to, you know, be really proud of ourselves. What's that again? 3 square root 6. 3 square root 6. And there we have the answer to this question. And there are plenty more questions to come that are going to throw us all over the place. And I'm going to go through them. And it's definitely worthwhile if you want to get better at this and get the knack. Because there's so many places you can go wrong. So many schoolboy errors to make. So I want to see you in the next video. See you then.